So the title for this week's Policy in Focus is Mobile Phone Thefts. Now, there has been a serious rise in organised crime, which means that mobile phone thefts have become prevalent in cities, in major cities around the world. In the UK and in London, there was a mobile phone theft about every 8 minutes or so. I mean, like, if you think about it, in Westminster, people have got their phones, they've got it out, they're looking at Big Ben, or they're looking at the Houses of Parliament, somebody comes by and they snatches it out of their hands. So as part of my, when I was elected in 2005, my main priority was safer streets, making the streets safe for everyone. So tackling mobile phone theft is part of that ambition. Now, 10 years ago, I had my bag stolen, which had my mobile phone in it. And I remember calling the police and saying to them, look, I've tracked my phone and I can see it going across the bridge, and it was going quite slowly, and the police were just not interested. They said it's not reliable tech. And I'm like, yes it is, I can see it, GPS, and if you're not going to go and get those thieves, I am. So I found somebody who had a car. It's quite a long story, so I'm not going to do the whole story, but I found somebody who had a car. And we tracked down, we had somebody else at the base, at the conference, on the computer, making sure we were going in the same direction as the thieves. We tracked down the thieves. I then called the police again, via the MP actually, and said, I'm going to tackle these thieves now unless they're coming. They told me to stay put in the car and they were going to come and tackle the thieves. So we stayed in the car, we drove a little bit forward. We were actually pretending to kiss so that we can not look too suspicious as we were watching the thieves walk up the road. When the police came and stopped them and asked them to empty out their rucksack, they had about 25 or so phones on them. They had Oyster cards, they had purses, they had my bag, they had just people's personal goods. So I got my phone back and I got my Oyster card and I got my bag, I got my purse, but there was some stuff missing. But anyway, I asked them where it was. It was in bins. They were dumping it in bins all along the bridge. Anyway, as I say, long story. But I was lucky, I got my phone back. Lots of people, constituents, tourists, MPs have had their phones stolen. And just last week, an MP told me how she called her phone, her stolen phone, the thief picked it up and said if she wants the phone back, they're willing to take some money for it. So she could pay to get her stolen phone back if she wanted to meet them. This is organised crime, and police have recognised that it's organised crime, and that's why they have this Operation Reckoning, where they have broken these criminal gangs and broken the chain. Because when a mobile phone is stolen, it is quickly, and that is if it is an iPhone, not if it's a Samsung phone, which is really quite interesting. But if it's an iPhone, it's very quickly shipped to either China or Algeria. Those are the two main countries where it's shipped. And they're either used or they are dismantled for parts. Now, there's only a certain number of parts that can be reused, and those parts can also be blocked. So these manufacturers, they can do so much more than they are currently doing. So what needs to happen? What needs to happen? The IMEI number, which identifies mobile phones, can be programmed. The manufacturers can program it so it just shows on your screen when your screen is off. That means if a police goes into a shop, they can automatically put these numbers into their database, and if it comes up as stolen, they know it's a stolen phone. Very easy fix the manufacturers can do and should do. There is incidentally a conference going to happen in March. It's being run by the Met Police, and hopefully we can get some of these solutions committed to then. What else can happen? We can have mandatory kill switches. So if your phone is stolen, you report it to the police, they can track it, they can kill it so it can't be used. And what also needs to happen is that if you then make sure that these phones just essentially are just bricks, so you can't connect to the internet, they become useless to anybody that steals them. So we have to design out these temptations. If you think about it, for those people that are old enough to remember, car radios. Now, car radios, there was a spate of thefts where people would go around and they'd steal the car radios. What happened? The car manufacturers incorporated it into the actual car, so that way you couldn't steal it. The same with sat-navs. Sat-navs, people would break in and steal a sat-nav, but when you incorporate it into cars, then there's nothing to steal, apart from my car, which is rather old, but don't worry about that. So all of this is what we can do to ensure that we keep our streets safe, we make stealing phones less attractive to the thieves. So this is why it's so important that we tackle this for safer streets and to make sure that people's properties are their properties. What do I need you to do? I need you to follow what's happening, follow the Met Police Operation Reckoning, follow what's happening, share what people need to do to keep themselves safe so they can get their IMEI number off of their phone, put it somewhere separate. Make sure you put something at the back so if they try to snatch it out of your hand, they can't. All these little things that people take on board to make sure that they're safe. Also, if you're coming out of a station, go into your nearest shop before you check where you are or where you're going, because that is one of the hot spots where people steal mobile phones. Anyway, I'm very passionate about this, not just because, I had mine stolen, but I got it back, but just because it's one of those things where it makes people feel less safe. And what we want is a city where people feel safe. So help me in this campaign. Do follow me. Do subscribe and follow and like and share this content. And I will share more information on the conference and the results of the conference in a few weeks' time. But take care, and I'll see you at my next Substack, Policy in Focus.